So I got a really tough question from our buddy who I'll keep anonymous. He goes on to say that he's had a girlfriend for quite some time and he needs to break up with her. The problem is that she's suicidal. She has bipolar and other mental disorders, he describes it as. Recently her father died from an overdose of heroin. She's dropped out of school. He no longer wants to be with her, but the guilt associated with breaking off the ties with a girl that's this damaged, with the likelihood that she might choose to take her life, having such a devastating loss of her father to begin with, being imbalanced mentally, and then to lose what he says is the only person in her life right now. But he's got to move on because it's wreaking havoc on his life. His life is being destroyed by the fact that he's carrying her along. How does he do it? Dude, probably one of the tougher questions I've been asked. And I really had to think long and hard about it. And I started remembering a movie that I watched when I was a kid. I may have mentioned this in a video in the past, but it's going to sound really funny, but the movie is called Harry and the Hendersons. Okay, and Harry and the Hendersons is a story about a family, a man and his wife and their children who are camping one day and they run their car into something. Boom, 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 boom. He figures it's a deer. Late at night and he runs into something. He gets out of the car and he goes and sees what it is, and what is laying in front of him is a 9-foot man beast they call a Bigfoot, right? A Sasquatch. Those of you who aren't familiar, this is like a mythical creature, I think, but people say they've seen it, which is just like a giant half monkey, half man that is big and hairy and lives somewhere in the woods. Anyway, so the story goes that he runs into this freaking thing, and they don't know what to do. They don't want to leave it there. They're freaked the fuck out, so they bring it home and nurse this Sasquatch, this animal, this beast / man in their home, and they take care of it, and they begin to love this thing. It grows healthy, and it's in their home, and it's creeping around, and it's weird, it's funny, but it's loving, but it's also a beast. It's also an animal that if the neighbors recognize this beast, this animal living in their house, all hell would break loose. They enjoy its presence, but it's making their life hell. The man has to make a choice. He's like, my children can't be raised with this animal in our home. We've come to love it, but it's ruining our family. It's ruining what could potentially be a decent life for my children and for my wife and for myself. So it's gotta go. The whole movie is about how much they love this thing. Towards the end of the movie, they gotta get rid of it. And it's sad, it's heartbreaking. And you're watching the movie. I must have been about 10 years old when I watched the movie, and you're like, man, no, don't get rid of Harry. Don't get rid of Harry. And the dad's like, I gotta do it. I have to do it. I can't keep this beast in my house. Rightfully so. I get it. So they drive Harry out to the forest where they bumped into him. Harry gets out of the car, the dad gets out of the car, and the dad is like, you have to go. Get out of here. Go! And Harry's like, oh, I love you. He can't speak. He does, oh. And the kids are in the car crying, and the mother's like, well, we love Harry, but Harry's got to go. And the guy's like, get out of here. Get out of here. And Harry's like, boo. But Harry doesn't want to leave. So the man cocks back and goes, bah! Punches Harry in his fucking face. And Harry's like so disappointed, so broken. The man, his heart is broken. Because he just punched in the face something that he's come to love and appreciate, but can't stick around because his life is going to be ruined. And Harry puts his head down and walks away. I cried. It's one of those circumstances where your heart is torn. And of course, I'm likening your circumstances, which is about a human being who's in dire straits that you've brought into your home, you've healed, but is now ruining your life with a movie and a fictional creature. But the sentiment's the same. The essence is the same. And it's a good segue to the sentiment of your actions, the essence of what your actions have to be. even though I'm giving you the content of a movie about a big mythical creature and you and your suicidal girlfriend, notice how the content is just the story. The content is just the surface. The essence is what's important. I cried about the stupid movie. The essence is the same. The roots are the same. You love this thing, you've brought it into your home, but it's ruining your life. If you kick it out, it could potentially be hurt also out in the world, but you can't keep it because your life is going to be ruined. The essence, the sentiment, the spirit behind everything really points to the deeper reality of it. The principles of the circumstance, however you want to describe it. The sentiment from which the man proceeded, where he was coming from when he punched Harry in the face, was a place of deep and profound love and respect for the creature, but also self-preservation, which is no less valuable. You've got to preserve yourself to be able to live in life. It's our safety and survival is our most base. It's at the bottom of the hierarchy of needs. Safety and survival. If your safety and survival is being challenged by a situation in this way, you're going to revert to taking care of yourself, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's great because that means that you can go off and do other work. This is tough. And of course, not everyone's going to agree with me. And I don't expect you to. This is just an idea, a perspective perhaps that might support you. So with that understanding, and with knowing that how you go about it is more important than what you do, who you are is more important than what you do. The essence is more important than the circumstances. You got to kick her out, obviously, but with love and prayer, and that's my advice to you. You have to get rid of her. You know you have to get rid of her. I'm not telling you to get rid of her. You told me you have to get rid of her. I'm giving you a way to get rid of her without the guilt that's going to be associated with it, and with actually sending her on her way with absolutely the best thing you can give her. And that is a loving parting, even if it means punching her in the face. And when I say punching her in the face like this, meaning like you just have to be harsh, like, look, you've got to go. Don't punch her in the face, but you get my point. And pray for her. I know that sounds crazy, right? Fucking Elliott, what is he talking about? Pray. Send out good vibes for her success. Close the door behind her and say in your heart, I deeply wish the best for this woman. Feel it in your body. I spoke recently in many videos, past couple weeks, about vibrations. If you send out loving feelings to her, you're doing a number of things. You're cultivating loving feelings within yourself. And when you do anything with love as the overriding principle, you can never feel guilty. You can never feel guilty when you allow your heart to dictate the essence, when you come from your heart. So you'll feel good about the choice no matter what happens to her, and you need to continuously do this because you're continuously sending out loving vibrations to her, loving feelings, loving energy. It's for you and it's for her. So whatever happens to her out there, know that you did the absolute best that you could do with what tool you have at your helm, what you can actually do. You can't keep her. You can't send her money. You can't protect her. It's her life, but you can love her. You can send prayers in her direction. That's what prayer is. Prayer is sending your vibrations in a particular direction, thinking about something, being about something when you can't physically do something about it. Right? Prayer doesn't, I'm not talking worship prayer. I'm talking sending out your sentiment. And when you send her on your way, pray for her. And pray for her again. And when guilt comes in, because guilt's going to come in, pray for her again. And if she tries to come back, keep the door closed and pray for her. Those who have ears, I pray that you hear me. Done.